Whew. Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're having a nice day. Today we're gonna be starting a new series. It's called Sit Down With Me, where you and we just sit down and talk about things that is going on in my mind, preferably with a beverage in hand. I'm just having nimbu pani today. You can see the color is a little yellowish. It's because I add honey to it instead of sugar, and it makes it 100 times better. You have to try it, please. For me. Anyway, I'm gonna drink. Cheers! So good, so refreshing. The topic that we're gonna be talking today is shows that you need to watch. Okay, they're not TV shows, but they're on some OTT platforms and even YouTube. These are shows that are basically really close to my heart. A lot of you might have a lot more time on your hands, and fiction is a great way of escapism from what's happening. And I honestly don't think escapism is such a bad thing, especially when a show or the piece of content that you're consuming enriches you in any manner. So even if you don't have that much time, I think you need to make fiction a little part of you. It's your choice, but these are the list of shows that are very close to my heart, and I've been wanting to share this with everyone. This video is practically me begging you to watch these shows because I know you wouldn't listen to me. I have to make a YouTube video about it. So let's go. So the first show is probably the most popular one on this list. It is Modern Family. You might have heard about it a lot. It's very celebrated. It has won numerous awards, but I'm not gonna go into the technicalities in this video. I'm just gonna tell you why these shows are really personal and why do these shows make me happy personally. I hope you can draw inspiration from that. So Modern Family, as the name states, it is a show that kind of redefines what a family unit could mean, in my opinion. Like, the moment you think about family, the society has wired your brain in such a way where you only think about a mom, a dad, and probably children. But this show, it surrounds a whole family, a huge joint family, and every branch of that family, if you think about it, has an unconventional setup. But the intention of that show is to kind of normalize that unconventional setup, because there's Claire and her husband Phil, who's probably the most conventional form of the family setup. But Claire's brother has a husband, and Claire's dad has been divorced and old, yet he has a very young, dashing wife. And it's just every part of that family has a very offbeat storyline going on, but it becomes a very way of life, and people are living happily. And that's what I think is so heartwarming to me, that, you know, I think that's the modern definition of what a family could look like and should feel like. At the same time, the show is extremely hilarious. Oh my god, it's so emotional, because Claire and Phil's kids, they were tiny when I was watching that show first, when it was airing on TV, and I was tiny as well. I was probably in my school years. I think I was a teenager. And I recently watched the season finale, and I saw those kids have grown up now, and they're probably in the same field of my life in their story. So they're also going through a lot of graduations and jobs and relations and this and that. And it's just so heartwarming to see that I have been having the same journey parallelly with the show's plot. And since it is such a multi-generational show, I think everyone will find someone in that show to relate and to confide in. So yeah, I think it's a must watch. There are high chances that you've probably watched the show already. If you haven't, please go ahead. If you have, it doesn't harm to rewatch. I'll mention it all in the description box, whichever show that belongs to whichever platform, so it's easier for you to just go away into the beautiful world of fiction. Alright, time for the next show. So the next show is a very interesting one called The Good Place. It's also pretty popular, but I don't think a lot of my friends have watched it. In fact, I was the one telling everyone, guys, watch it, because it's so cool. It blew my mind. I mean, it's such a light-hearted watch, but it talks about things like death and life so casually and so lightly, and in a very fictional story-like format.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
Essentially, the name Good Place means that there is a place after death where every human being goes. While you are living your life on earth, you have a tally of points. You do good deeds, you get good marks. You don't do good deeds, you go into negative. So you're more likely to go into the good place if you get good marks, and bad place if you go into the bad marks. But the characters that are there in this whole show, they end up in a place which feels like the good place, and I don't want to spoil what happens, but then they realize that they've not really been best kind of people on earth. I mean, one of them is like a philosophy professor who's been helping out people, teaching them, and he feels he deserves a rightful place in the good place, but he doesn't, because he's always been in such a dilemma that those dilemmas and those inhibitions have caused a lot more harm to himself and the people around him. But I may be saying it in the most serious manner. They give it off in such hilarious format. Oh, it's so cool. It has a few seasons, I think, and in the end of the season something really nice happens. You just have to watch it. It's so good. I think for me, it made me think about things that I have done in such a way that I might think are the best, or I might be assuming are the best, but it just makes you look at the things that you could do better. But honestly, it discusses it all in such a light-hearted, hilarious format that it's a must watch, in my opinion. So go ahead with that. Okay, the next show, it's homegrown, it's made in India, and it's awesome because it's actually on YouTube. I'm sure you might have heard about TVF if you've been around on YouTube. I feel like the newer generations who are on YouTube don't really understand, and by newer generations I don't mean kids who are younger to me. There's also like a whole bunch of adults that are elder to me who have just come on YouTube to watch videos, and I don't think you know about the whole culture that was there. I think around 2015, where there were creators like TVF and AID. I'm gonna be speaking about TVF because the quality of the web series that they make wins my heart every single time. But my favorite of their web series has to be Permanent Roommates. I have probably watched it like 3, 4, 5 times because it's that light-hearted and the episodes are so short. They're, I think, just 15-30 minutes and just 5 episodes, and I think just 2 seasons. But the first season is something that is very dear to my heart. I think I saw it in 2015 when it had released when I was preparing for my board examination, and I had so much stress on my head at that time. That was my go-to relief. It's about a guy and a girl and their whole love story, but it's the most non-mushiest thing you would see. Mikesh, the lead of that whole web series, oh my god, what do I even say? His comic timing and his jokes, and they're so unpretentiously funny, you know, they're just so natural.
बोलो ना क्या कर रही हो?
पकौड़े तल रही हूँ।
तुम अभी भी ऑयली खा रही हो? वो डॉक्टर ने मना किया है ना?
It's 7:30 in the morning, yeah.
I think Sumit Vyas came into the highlight after that show when we saw how well he could carry the character Mikesh. The lines he says, it's just, he's too good to be true. He's so precious, you want to preserve him. On the other hand, Tanya, the female lead of the show, she's very practical and, you know, very quite affirmative of things and wants to get things done, and it's a funny amalgamation of both the characters. But other than that, you know, I think what I really like about the show is that the whole surrounding and the environment that show creates, it's a whole reflection of the environment that you grow around as well, from the references they make or like the names that they give and the songs and the jokes. It's just so down to earth, so easygoing, easy to understand, and it's like a breeze. You have to watch that show. I mean, wow. I mean, they're a couple and they have their ups and downs and everything, but it's just shown really well. Like, the whole thing is just shown in a manner where you don't feel too heavy about it. It's the most liked-watched thing I have seen. And as much as TVF shows are celebrated, I don't think Permanent Roommates is being celebrated presently. So I really feel that it needed a shout out. So yeah, just go. and watch and then thank me later, please. Okay, this next show is probably gonna be very offbeat from all of this list because it's not in English, it's not in Hindi. It is a K-drama, but honestly, I did not go into watching considering it was a K-drama. I just saw that it had so much, like the topics were so interesting and so much it was being recommended to me very highly from YouTube videos and even on my Netflix. The show is called Startup and it is in Korean, it's a K-drama, but I guess it's the best K-drama that you can watch if you're a first timer, like how I was. The cultural context is not too Korean in a way. The topic that they have taken are very modern. It kind of still makes you comfortable with the narratives of how K-dramas go. Like the episodes are really long. They're like sometimes they're even 45 minutes or sometimes even more than an hour. But it never felt lengthy because they keep it very interesting with every curve of the story. And the story is basically about startups and the whole startup culture and people coming from different backgrounds. You would think it would be something very different to what you are experiencing, but turns out human beings are pretty universal and their storylines are as dramatic and as emotional as they can get, just like Indian ones. It's a very easy to digest K-drama. See, I've come to know so many things about startups. Like I know words like I forgot what. Again, it's a very interesting format. There's a lot of humor, there's a lot of drama, there's amazing characters that you'll fall for, some you will hate but will have eventually good character development. So yeah, please go and watch this show. Keep your inhibitions aside and just go right away. So the next on the list is another popular US sitcom, but I didn't think it was popular because the circles around me weren't talking about it. But until recently, when I found out it is receiving so many awards, it was a sigh of relief to see that that show is being celebrated so much. It's called Schitt's Creek and I found it on my Netflix. Honestly, it was lying around in my list. I don't know why I wasn't clicking on it until one day I was just like, you know what, let's just give it a try. And I did. And it turns out to be a show about this rich, wealthy family that gets cheated by their accountants. So they lose all their money and now they're just left with a little town that they own somewhere in America, and now they have to move to that town and adjust somehow to that small town vibe. They have to live in these small rooms and motels, and the people around there are not something that they're familiar with, the whole culture.
Smells like a gym bag.
Does anyone else feel lightheaded?
Oh my God, this takes me back to high school. You know, I did the deed in just about every room in this place. Yeah, if a forensic team came in here with one of those blue lights, this place would just light up.
Okay, that's good.
It is hilarious, of course, but what I really like about this show is the character development with every single character in that show. Of course, the story is being led by the main wealthy family. Then the side characters come in and they become as equally important like how it's supposed to be, like in a community. Later on it becomes like a show that is reflecting that community in that small town. By the end of the show, you realize that it's kind of a reflection of the world around you, where every character in that show has some good points about themselves, has some bad points about themselves, and yet you like them for whatever and whoever they are, even if they have those good points or bad points. That's what makes them. And every character in that show is also kind of like that. I like how, especially with the rich family, you have certain stereotypes and everything, and then you break into those stereotypes and they don't turn out like that. And similarly with the whole small town people in that show, you have certain stereotypes about them, that they won't be open-minded about things and everything, but they turn out to be even more open-minded than you would think they are. It's just a lovely show. What is personal to me about this show is it's very surprising, but I found this show when I was having a pretty dark time, because there was a lot of personal loss happening in our family, and around that time that was the show that I was comforting and confiding myself into. But then I found a string of articles where a lot of people did in the similar way. Like someone wrote a whole big article on this thing, that you know how Schitt's Creek was there thing in the most darkest of their times, and it's very unusual, but this show has found people in their hard times rather than people trying to find it, which I think, I don't know what it is about, but yeah, whoever I've recommended this show to has enjoyed it a lot. It's like a breath of fresh air. You have to check it out. I needed that because the next show I'm going to talk about is my favorite, ultimate favorite, most favorite. I don't know how to even describe it because it's so close to my heart, my mind, and my soul. And it's a beautiful show. It's not necessarily a humorous or a comedy show. It has a little bit of everything, but I think it would be more in drama and suspense and thriller, fictitious kind of whole thing. A little bit sci-fi as well. So this show is called Sense8. It's the most underrated show in my opinion in this entire list as well, because whole script, the stories, the whole concept of that show is mind blowing. But I have to warn you that this show can only help you open your mind if you have an open mind in the first place for it to let you open your mind. I hope you get me. It's like you have to leave all your preconceived biases and inhibitions and judgments in the other room when you're watching the show, so that it can help you evolve into a much more acceptive person. So the show is basically about, there is a spiritual mother kind of scene where she gives birth to like 8 children, not literally, these are just 8 random people around the globe, and when they grow up they realize that somehow they're all connected in with a hint of telepathy. It's not exactly that, it's like they can empathize so strongly that even if one of them is going through pain or pleasure, anger or fear or moments of thrill and confidence, all of them will feel it at the same damn time. And I can't tell you how awesome that is, because even though it might seem like a whole superpower thing or something, I feel like it's a narrative of how we are all connected by the energy of the universe. And why I feel that more importantly is because in this show, that circle has those 7 people who are, they belong to different countries, communities, cultures and everything, and it kind of gives that whole oneness feelings. Now then they find out that they're not the only 7 or 8 people who are connected together. There are even more circles like that, and they're found it. But these people are in danger now, and there's a whole villain chasing them. But more than the villain, it's in every episode I feel like they're trying to fight the society, the negativeness in the societies with whatever judgments that are being thrown at them.
Trying to understand anything.
Because labels are the opposite of understanding.
But Van Damme is white.
Yes.
So even if it's about courage, it's about white courage.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm not understanding, but what does courage have to do with...
The color of a man's skin.
Show is it has also explored various kinds of relationships that people might have, and this is something that I don't want to talk about a lot, rather I want you to experience it on your own, form your own opinions and think about it, and maybe we can have a discussion someday, because otherwise it would be unfair to be discussing about it right now. Yeah, this show has changed me as a person, but for the first time I think when I was 18 or 17, I'm not sure, and then I watched it again when I was I think 19 or 20, and every time I watched it I evolved as a person. Like a lot of what I am today, how my mentality is developing, is because of that show. It has had such a strong impact on me that I really owe it to that one. And why I said in the beginning of this whole dialogue that it's one of the most underrated shows, because they have fabulous plot lines, they have everything that you will ever need in a show, but the second season wasn't coming out. It was not going to be released. I'm not sure, there was some funding issue with the whole thing and they didn't want to release. But you know, the fans of the shows, they protested, they petitioned, and they made it happen. That's how much the community, that even though it's a little community for that show, they're so passionate about it that they don't care about the quantity of the people that are liking it or the quantity of money that's being thrown at it. They're just like, this is our space and we want it. And that's how season 2 happened. I'm not sure if season 3 is gonna happen or not, but if you think about it, it's such a beautifully written story that even at the end of this season 2, you will be happy with the ending. So it won't feel like you've been left away with something. I think there is so much passion for our humankind, for the globe, for the universe being thrown in every episode of this show that it's just beyond words and mesmerizing. You just have to check that show to know what I'm talking about.
What is human? An ability to reason, to imagine, to love or grieve? If so, we are more human than any human ever will be.
Okay, so time for the final show in the list, which is kind of like a bonus show because I just recently watched that show, to be fair. Still growing on me. It's The Bold Type. Now, I thought it's a very underrated show and people haven't watched it, but when I posted about it on my Instagram, I saw so many people respond to it, which kind of made me relieved because I'm like, hey, at least this show is getting the recognition that it deserves, right? This show is about 3 women who work at a magazine called Scarlet, and it might seem like a theme that has been done before in Hollywood, and I think that is the point. They're trying to take that theme, that classic theme of people working at a female-oriented magazine, and yet how things have changed, because back then there were many movies or they had these standards of beauty and so much enmity between all women, and it just doesn't make sense anymore. It never made sense, but I'm just so glad that they're having a whole refreshing on this whole thing, because these women, these 3 lovely ladies, they're not just colleagues with their best friends, and in that show they have each other's back. But what I really love about this show is their boss, Jacqueline, who is like the best person. I wish I could befriend her in real life or even make her my boss. I wouldn't mind. She's so supportive. She's so open-minded about things.
I love what I do, but because that is the essence of Scarlet. To inspire young women to face challenges head on, to take a leap of faith. And yes, it is frightening. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Because without that leap, we'll never know what could be. We'll never know what we are capable of.
The show, every episode, I don't think they have a single lead in the show. Every character is equally important. Everyone has their own issues, and I feel like with every issue they're trying to beat a certain stereotype. They're trying to call out little minor issues. And what I really liked about that show is they have put so much attention on these little issues that you won't realize you are being a part of it. You won't realize you have been wrong at some point in your life, even though you might be feeling like you're doing the right thing. But when they call out those issues, you realize, oh my god, I have been doing that. I have been minorly judging someone, or I might be. It's very difficult to say what's black and white when most things appear grey, right? But it's just it's a great show that kind of makes you question the things that are going on around you and question how you feel about these issues as well. I would say the show is the true essence of feminism, not all about women. It's about guys and girls and whatever gender or sex you want to belong. To be honest, like all of these shows that I've told you, trust me, they will be worth your time, because I don't want you to waste your time. Because I realize that especially in a time like this where you want to mindfully consume everything, be it content or food, especially content is something that you cannot have a lot of control over. So keeping that in mind, these are the shows that are friendly to your mind, I could say. Most of these shows leave you feeling really nice, happy, light, even cultured, educated. I think these are the shows that you need to watch to make the most out of your time, to grow your personality, to learn how to respect yourself and everyone. That's it from me. I hope we had a nice chat. Continue it down into the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts about these shows if you've watched them. Tell me the shows that you're excited to watch. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Each one of you matters so dearly to me. You know what? I'll give you your time. Watch these shows if you feel like it did something to you, it helped you in any way. Please like this video. Please share it with your friends. You know the drill. Tune in next week for a new video. Until then, bye! I haven't left because I had Nimbu Pani left, so